I just made a new main in Old School, and I'm broke. So let's make some money. These are RuneScape money making guides I purchased written in the pioneer days of the internet, as early as 2004, on websites like this. They seem pretty legit. Look at this guy's bank. Other players hate him. Or this guy, Shad. Wait, is that the same bank? Anyway, in this video, I'm gonna try each of these books and see how they hold up today. Let's start with Rich Noob's Guide for 20 USD in 2009. A proven guide to make you over $1 billion RuneScape gold. In 2009? Hell yeah. I mean, check out these testimonials. Way to keep it real. Okay, so this book has a billionaire's secret method, but we need to get 10 million gold to start out. No worries, a small price to pay to become a billionaire. Let's see how we get there. Collecting and selling cow hides is one of the easiest and fastest. Seriously? I figured this out when I was like 6. I remember not even killing cows and just picking up other people's scraps, thinking they were crazy for leaving them on the ground. Anyway, I still need money, so let's get to it. Alright, I killed a few hundred cows and have some starting capital. Let's see what we can do with it. Buying and selling Eye of Newts, which apparently equals 1800 per run and 100k per hour. So what, 100 hours of this and I get my 10 million to be a billionaire? At least it's somewhat creative. I'll tell you over and see how it goes. So the good news is they sell Eye of Newt packs, so I don't need to do any runs. However, I don't know if we'll make any money from selling them on the Grand Exchange. Let's give it a try. I ran back with a full inventory worth, and it looks like that if I sell it for 3, I'll end up losing money. So I'm going to try and sell it for 4, and we'll move on to the next thing. Now I paid $20 US for this guide, which is like 7,000 Australian dollars. So let's take a look at what else there is. Next up, Runite mining? Requirements 85 mining in the wildy. How the f did we go from cowhides to 85 mining in 2 steps? This is like draw the rest of the fucking owl. I have 41, so maybe another day, I guess. To be fair, they were free-to-play methods. I mailed Jargex $8 2 weeks ago and they just activated my members, so let's see what I can do. Collecting swamp toads. Requirements none. Hey, sweet, that's me. Apparently I just head to Gnome Stronghold and pick up swamp toads for the rest of my life and I'll be a millionaire. Rich Noob says that they're used in herb lore and summoning, which we only have one of those, but it may still be worth it. Oh. I mean, they're okay. Better than cows, I guess. I found out that if on the way back I take off their legs, they're actually worth twice as much. Huge. All right, I'll sell all these that I got and we'll take a look. And that brings us to... Oh, I really thought they would sell, huh? At least my iron needs sold. Okay, let's do something while we wait for them to sell. Vial filling. Humidify will let you fill things with water just in one cast. Take your empty vials and fill them with profit. Okay, so ironically, even if I did meet the requirements, which I don't, I cheated and quickly looked at the wiki and it turns out vials are literally the worst option by a magnitude now, which is pretty funny. Making molten glass. 77 mage and lunar diplomacy. Well, I guess this one's on me. I'm sure it's decent money. Is there anything I can do? Oh, killing dragons. This one promises 500k GP an hour, which is technically better than all the other suggestions. Combat is something I do have from all my bovine slaughter, but I need to quickly start Dragon Slayer and get the shield. If you had any doubt about me being a noob, I genuinely thought this is where you started Dragon Slayer, but it's on the okay, it's at the Champions Guild. There we go. Okay. I'll use my Eye of Newt money and buy myself some upgrades. Perfect. Apparently we're doing this in the Chaos Tunnels, so I'll head over there now. Let's make some billions. It says that the entrance is here, but I guess that it got added after. I'll just go somewhere else to kill Green Dragon. What the fuck? Oh, dear. Okay, it's just a thug. Okay, I'm gonna go somewhere safe and then we'll figure out where to go. Turns out all of them are in the wilderness, except a couple of luck behind quests, and these ones are available in low level, so I'll grind these for a while. Okay, so this took way longer than I expected, but we have our first million. It's not 10 million, but we'll see if we can't turn it into a billion. The billionaire's secret method. Here we go. I'm going to teach you how to change the price of an item on the Grand Exchange to whatever you want? Huh? To make great money, you have to manipulate the prices by using merchanting clans to artificially inflate the... Oh my god, it's pump and dumps. He, or she, women can be scammers too, goes into detail about making a merchant alt and setting up a clan chat and convincing noobs to spam for you for hours to make them officers. He advises you buy before you advertise your targets and sell before you hit the dump prices to rip off the most amount of people. That's it. That's the entire book. richnoob.com, all rights reserved. Well, I'm not going to try and spin up a merchanting ring to sell monkey nuts or whatever, so let's move on to Shad's Billionaire Guide. I have to say, whatever website was making these fake books with the shadows and reflections was making a killing, because these are all over the place. I'm lucky to find this because there were only 200 copies sold ever. Thankfully, there's even a section on convincing my parents to buy the book. I learned my lesson this time and read ahead. This one's actually 200 pages long as advertised, so there is a genuine amount of effort put into it. Now, there's an entire 20-page section about being unbanned and another 15 pages on luring, so that effort may be a little bit misguided, but hey, at least his heart's in it. Let's go through some of the methods and see if we can't make some decent money. Banana picking in Karamja. I have literally never heard of this, but it seems like it was just under a 2k a basket in 2011. He even suggests an inventory and teleport setup. Unfortunately, not really as good today, but at least it's creative. The only other no money, no skill method is black scimitars when they get pumped and dumped by merch clans. Once I've got a little bit of money, Shad advises me to head to Falador and telegrab Zamorak wines. This didn't really work. They still get aggressive, I still lose stats when you telegrab, and there's a ladder I can go up if I had robes, but even then, telegrabbing still lowers my stats, so without food and restores, this wasn't really worth it. What else? Buy golden scarabs for 450 each and sell them for 1k to the vendor. Yeah, no. Charging glory amulets with a geyser titan from summoning. About that. What about turning staffs into mystics? This seems pretty legit. I just finished Scorpion Catcher too. I was gonna do this, but I noticed that the staff prices didn't really make sense. And it turns out that if you do an elite diary, that it becomes half the price to mystify it. So that won't really work for me. One last one from Shad here, which is making crystal keys. He gives some helpful tips about how to surpass the buy limit, such as conning your friends and clanmates, but the idea here is pretty simple. Buy teeth and loops, then combine them for a profit. These look like they'll work, but I need to not insta-buy or sell or I'll bleed money, so I'll leave these up for a bit and come back to it. The limit in OSRS is higher than 100, so now I just need to combine them and sell the keys. This wasn't too bad actually, as long as the prices don't change drastically under you while you're sourcing them. The rest of Shad's guide here is genuinely helpful tips about flipping, what items are good and bad, and how to find the min and max prices, and generally solid advice. He even shows how to set up alerts using Yahoo Messenger to wake you up at night when the GE updates. The last sections of the making money part of the book to make billions go into how to host gambling games with flowers and flower clans, which involve flower duels and staking hundreds of millions in pots while raking in house cash, in very specific detail. But I like my account, and I'm not so sure about his unbanning methods, so I'll skip those for today. Overall, not bad. There was genuine work put into this book, and you can see it. I'm not so sure about Shad's bold claims that I'll save $60,000 worth of my time from buying it though. Let's check out RuneScape Top Secrets Insider to Millions. It's probably worth noting that all of these books have these copyright warnings, so I'm definitely going to jail. Please like and subscribe to make it worth it. Thanks. This book is great. The entire thing is a power fantasy and genuinely inspirational self-reflection. Seriously, listen to this. Becoming rich isn't possible by typing in some secret code. You have to work your way up. The richer you are, the easier it gets. You have to work. You need patience and perseverance. Don't give up easily and you'll reap the rewards. Remember to keep your eye on the ball and to never give up. I love this book. This literally goes on for 12 pages before the first method to get from 0 to 100k is revealed. Mine iron to 100k. Credit where it's due, The next 10 pages literally explain step by step on how to get from Lumbridge to Falador, where you can get a free pickaxe, power mining to level 15, and then starting on iron. The inspiration doesn't stop either. Getting to level 15 shouldn't take you long at all. Just keep working at it. Don't get sidetracked and stay on task. Remember that your goal is money, not XP. I need this guy as my personal hype man. I have literally never felt more motivated to play RuneScape. Alright, boss. I've got my first 100k. Now what? The remainder of the book is basically just a merchanting guide, buy low, sell high, cheap items just starting out and then bigger items later on, reinforcing patience and long-term commitment. The other noteworthy part that is actually crazy, he talks about investing works great when there's future changes to be made. I quote, "For example, if a new skill called construction is about to come out, yes, I know it doesn't exist, but I'm using it as an example, you could buy thousands of logs and sell them later." Holy shit, was that part written in 2005? One last golden nugget is that rich players are lazy and don't want to work for their skills, so fetching their items is profitable. All jokes aside, this book was genuinely pretty good because even though it was published in 2008, the fundamentals are all solid, time-tested advice you could apply to many games. Pro Research's RuneScape Money Maker's Guide. This is the oldest book I could find. Unfortunately, it stopped getting updates when he wanted to focus on prosinglesclub.com. This one's written in 2004, so let's get started. 2 good ways to get my first 100k. First one, get feathers for 10 GC each. Okay, decent enough plan, I guess. You can easily get 10,000 feathers in 5 hours and then sell them on the RuneScape forums? Uh-oh. Well, there's other low-level suggestions to shear sheep and get 1,000 balls of wool. I'm a higher level player. I've got some decent combat. Let's see. You know what to do. Use your best skill to make 100k. What the hell? I explicitly do not know what to do. That's why I bought the book. Or you can kill chickens. Fine. I'll kill chickens while I read the rest. The remaining parts of the book are more merchanting, but this one was pre-Grand Exchange era, so unfortunately standing around the Baroque Bank buying iron ore wasn't really possible. This guy apparently had 15 iron miners on a salary with paychecks on Friday. I remember them running iron back in 2005 for people when I was a kid. How little I knew back then. They must have bought this book. He talks about merchanting and making steel bars as a RuneScape business, which is a super 2000s thing in general, and I kind of love that. There's a lot of tactics here that are so dated I didn't bother, like having 5 of your friends steal silk for you and trade it to you, while you sell the silk to the silk merchant for 60 coins each, making 1 mil an hour. What is kind of awesome about this one is that there's a historical snapshot of item prices. Rares such as party hats and masks, dragon square shields being 7 million, or the chainmail from the new level 333 monster being 35 mil. Consider that in 2004, a dragon chainmail was worth like 5 party hats. There's a couple of skill guides, which actually may be one of the first of its kind, and tips on what common scams look like. Thankfully, wielding this information, I will never be scammed again. This last one's a little bit different. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to include it in the video, but I decided for documentation and research to keep it in. The pitch for this one was to make passive income IRL from RuneScape, up to $5,000 a month. Well, all I wanted to do was make some GP, and now I'm being advised on how to start my own RMT business, starting from advertising on specific sites, avoiding bans, how to take payments and avoiding chargebacks, all the way up to building an empire. Remember, never use the word worker to describe your team. Use crew and be a leader. Just be sure to call them servants when you're writing about them. For obvious reasons, I'm obfuscating most of this book. As far as I can tell, this company doesn't exist anymore, but this is real RMT services advice, and I've worked too hard mining iron and killing cows to be banned. Most of this, unfortunately, isn't really useful for my goal. Maybe I should have bought his gold farming book instead. So, what did we learn from this internet archaeology? Well, this might be a huge shocker, but most of these tips were documented already at the time. Anonymous soldiers have been writing guides on places like GameFAQs or dedicated sites like RuneHQ all the way back since 2002, and I'm certain there's more on various forums that have been lost to time. In those days though, information was hard to find unless it was through word of mouth. People were more likely to find a useful website from a guy who told a guy who told a guy particularly if you were a part of the demographic of kids growing up on the internet at the time. Because everything was new and unknown, there was a genuine sense of mystery, and the plausibility of there being secret tricks to make millions or even billions was very real. These guides, most of which were priced at $20 US, would leverage that mystery and oversell themselves as the secret to success in the game, while also using web advertisements that the free forum spaces couldn't afford to do. RuneScape wasn't the only one either. You might remember seeing books like this for sale on World of Warcraft too. All of the book funnel pages look like this, hyping it up, fake testimonials, money-back guarantees, future updates, and insane value propositions. The greatest part about this is if you look at these griffs from the 2000s and compare them to the griffs today, they're exactly the same. Even the part about preying upon young minds. In reality, excluding the gambling and pump and dump scams of course, all it comes down to is basic ideas and grinding. That's why I love the Insiders to Millions book so much. I think some part of us all know that deep down the real secret to success is setting a goal, working hard, and staying consistent. And that rings true whether it's making a billion GP, getting a 99, making a fun YouTube channel, or whatever your goals are. Let me know in the comments if you ever saw or bought books like these. I'd genuinely love to hear about it. A huge shout out to the Internet Archive that makes content like this possible, as well as the writers. Yes, some of these things are a little overblown, but they were created with genuine passion one way or another, and that should be celebrated. Except this guy. Fuck that guy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.